everybody, my name is Jellybean and I'm finally posting this video. It's been a really long time. I'm sorry, I will try and post more frequently from here on out. I hope you're all having a happy 2021, by the way, and I hope it's going to be better than your 2020. This drawing took me a total of 20 hours. It's the longest drawing I've ever drawn, and also it's the most people I've ever drawn in one picture. And it also has a background, which doesn't happen very often. I know you see it a lot in the card series, but the card series is like my first time ever actually trying to draw backgrounds. So yes, like I said, this is going to be 20 hours of condensed drawing time. It's going to be unscripted, as you can probably already tell. And also I've had to speed up the line art because otherwise this video would be half an hour long, and that's not good. I can't talk for that long. So it all started with a lined piece of paper and a blue ballpoint pen, and so I just loosely sketched in where I thought everybody should go, because when I thought of where everybody should go, I didn't have my iPad. You gotta love that. You love it. You love that stuff. And so, anyways, then I took a black 6B pencil in Procreate, I believe it was 6B, and I drew in Jeremyism on the left, the Coven goes on the right, and also, right about now, sometime around here, Gemini T's hand is just chef's kiss, right there. That one I just drew. Oh, love it so much. So, speaking about loving things, I started this drawing in October. I procrastinated a lot on this one. Sorry about that. But I finished it in late December, early January, somewhere in that time frame. And within that time frame, I think I improved a lot. I think it's especially evident with Mika's card, because out of the original set, Mika is definitely one of my least favorites. But in this drawing, I'm gonna say it, I think she might be my favorite. So it was really cool to see that improvement, and I'm really happy especially with how the faces in this drawing turned out. You don't get to see them yet, but the faces turn out really awesome for me because they don't all look the same, and I've been struggling with same face syndrome for a while, so that's awesome. Quick side note, here I'm drawing Lauren, and congratulations to her, because if you didn't know, spoiler alert, she's pregante, so yeah, congratulations. This was around the point that I hit the 5-hour mark, and at this point I was a little bit demotivated because usually one of the card drawings, one of the longest ones I can think of right now is Joey's. It took me around 4 hours, and on average the cards usually only took me around 2. So considering this was taking 5, I felt both accomplished because I was sketching bodies in so quickly, but also I knew that if it was just taking me so long to sketch in bodies that the rest of the drawing was going to take me a really long time. But I pushed through, and here you can see I started bringing out their pictures and drawing in their defining features. Lizzie's card has always kind of bothered me because a few days after I finished it and posted it, the video where she joined the Coven came out, and so the fact that she was dressed like a Jeremyism member didn't really fit in anymore. It wasn't canon, I guess. And so drawing her now as a witch was so fun. It was like I got to corrupt her original character design, and I loved it, it was so fun. In my personal and very humble opinion, I think that Megan was one of the best cards from the original series. However, it's so frustrating to me because I meant to have her flower crown tie up her bun, so I was really excited to get to finally do that in this drawing. Scott, in both the original set and this drawing, gave me a lot of problems because it never fully just felt like Scott to me, and he also, the Coven was made after this point, I believe. I'm not too sure, correct me if I'm wrong. But Catherine's drawing, I love Catherine's drawing so much. It's the eyes, just the way the hair is. It was probably my favorite from the card series, like the original set, that is. And Lauren's hair, drawing the galaxy, was really fun, and it was a learning experience for me, and I had so many problems with that drawing as well, and this drawing, her face just wasn't turning out, but I am happy with it now. The Ministry of Magic, also known as Mom, was another thing that I didn't get to represent in the original card series set thing, so I really wanted to make sure that I did it here. So it was really fun drawing that fedora and the sunglasses. I also really enjoyed drawing Gemini Tay, and I think she looks really pretty in this drawing. I think her hair and the pose all fits together really nicely. I'm drawing in some pins on Scott, and then Ollie. I'm drawing in Ollie really quickly. Also, my cat just walked into the room, so if she's loud, I'm very sorry. Okay, back on track. So around this point was when I took a really long break, like a couple months worth, and I think I think that's really evident with how the drawings are coming out. And, oh, Mika's drawing. Hold on, I just need to watch this because I love it so much. The mouth is great. I wish the anatomy was up to par with how I draw now. I mean, none of it is because it's, been an additional month on top of that, and I've been working on the anatomy specifically, but I definitely added a lot more to Mika's design than she originally had. It also took a really long time, and I procrastinated a lot, but I think without that break in the middle there, I wouldn't be as happy with the final artwork as I am now. So, sometimes you gotta sacrifice a lot of time for improvement. I don't have a lot to say about the character designs because I've lost a lot of my thought process because it was so long ago. I do, however, remember panicking about how many layers I had. I only had about 50 layers, and I use a lot of layers, so I usually have about 30. I should probably tone it down a little bit. But I was very scared because usually I like one layer for every different shade and every single different color. And also I wanted to add a background, which I'm doing right now. I'm not super happy about the background. I don't think it adds a whole lot to the picture, but it is there, so I am going to live with it. And also this part is a bit speeded up because it's line art, and I have nothing to say on line art. It's my least favorite part of the drawing process. Back to the layers thing. I knew I only had, I think 53 was the magic number, so I decided to put every skin color on one layer, every hair on one layer, every red and orange were together, yellows and greens were together, blue, purple, black, pink. Yes, I did the black pink on purpose, and no, I don't listen to K-pop. I just thought it was funny. It's not funny. The one thing I do like about the line art, though, is how everything is a different color. I think it helps differentiate the characters a lot, and I do that occasionally with some of my more recent drawings. And if I wouldn't have done the card series, I wouldn't have figured out that I liked doing that as soon. So that's awesome. It's really nice. Another reason I don't particularly like line art is because I have really shaky hands, and you can tell, especially in my traditional art, when my hands are being super shaky. Here I'm doing their pins as well. Jeremy is sus, but I'm a part of it. Jeremyism is a cult, and Scott's rainbow pin. I like these a lot. Oh, I meant to cut that out. That's fine. You get to know that it was 13 hours in. Anyways, I like the pins a lot, and even though you can't see them, knowing that they're there is just like a fun little Easter egg to me, I guess. I don't particularly remember why I did the 13-hour mark. I just know that I had a few hours off, and so I just felt like doing it. And finally, we're on to the coloring, one of my favorite stages. Another thing I'm quite happy with in this drawing is that nobody has the exact same skin tone. Some may look really similar, but they're all like just slightly off from each other, and I don't know, it was just kind of fun. Color palettes are one thing I never plan out beforehand, so it was really nice having them all already there that I can just take the little color dropper and then just slap them on and not have to think about it too much. This part was really fun. Ollie's hair also turned out really nicely, and I just think that should be, said. I do add a little lighter bleached part that you might have seen flash there, similar to CPK's, but it's even more blonde and a little bit lighter and desaturated. There you go. Very strawberry blonde. Also, I know that Mika's hair doesn't actually look like that, but I think it's just pretty cool and it's like the original one, and I'm trying to stay as consistent as possible. Another thing to note is that usually whenever I'm coloring, except for in the eyes and highlights, I usually never have a plain white. So you can see on like the Jeremyism members how it's all slightly off white, and then when I add light to those folds and stuff, it looks a bit more white because I use white then. The card series has been honestly a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work, but I've learned so much from it, and it's been a pleasure to draw it. I've stepped out of my comfort zone, and thanks to this, I've actually gotten pretty good at drawing guys. And before the card series, I've only drawn like 4 guys before, no exaggeration, and now I'm drawing them almost on a regular basis. It's so cool to see how much this has changed, and I'm very grateful and thankful for all of the support that I've received throughout the card series and all of the encouraging and nice comments, so thanks for that. And moving on to the skin shading, I was getting really worried because, especially on like Megan and Quig, it just looked wrong. It was very harsh and desaturated, and there was no form to it. And I knew that I had to wait until I added highlights, but I never really got over it until the drawing was finished, and then it looked normal. So I guess it's just due to the fact that I usually don't look at the shading that long at a time, and that I'm always constantly moving on. Also, the blush on all of the characters, I'm really happy with the colors that they were given. I just think it looks really nice and cohesive with their own color schemes, and just the blush was on all of them in the original set, so it's nice to have that little bit that's always been there no matter what character I drew. By now, I'm moving on to shading the hair. Hair has always been a really difficult thing for me to shade and really tedious, and it always takes a really long time. And the way I usually do hair is I will shade it like I do most things. I'll start with the flat color, then I'll add a clipping mask on top of that. I'll do a darker shadow color. I'll do a clipping mask again, that's on multiply, and those will be all of the really deep shadows. I add another clipping mask that's for all of the lighter parts, and then I add another clipping mask, which is a screen layer, and I do that for like a rim of highlights. And finally, I will add one more clipping mask, and I'll take one of the acrylic paintbrushes, I believe it's called, and I use a really really saturated color, sorry, and I'll like follow the curves of the hair, and then I'll turn the opacity down on that layer, and it makes it look floofy, and I like it, okay? From this point onwards, the drawing felt like it went by really quickly. I shaded the red and oranges, then I went on to the yellows and greens, which were the most prevalent colors in the drawing, aside from the blues and purples, which were next. Then brown was on a layer with another color. I can't remember which color. And then, of course, black pink. Another thing I have mentioned before, but I would like to mention again now, is to add texture to Scott's vest or whoever's wearing jeans or any special material, I guess I'll say. I'll take a different paintbrush, one with a lot of texture, and then I'll grab like some of the shadow colors, some of the highlight colors, and I'll like some saturated colors, and I'll mix it all together, turn the opacity down on that, similar to how I do with the one hair layer. It shouldn't be that fun to say, but it really is. On the hair layer, Oh my gosh, I need to stop laughing at this. I'm sorry, hold on. And yeah, it just adds a lot of texture. And without further ado, the final drawing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you hopefully in not too long. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.